awaits you, brave warrior. Embark on your journey to
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Welcome. Today we are going over the new SpaceX patch. It is 0.056. And we're going to go over all the different bug fixes they've added, and then also there's a whole bunch of new content they've added in this update. There's a lot to cover. Yeah, so we're gonna start with the bug fixes. So a lot they've done in this patch. They pushed the last week patch into this one, so there's a lot of content they've added and a lot of bug fixes. So we're gonna get right into it. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to post them. I'll try to get to them. I'll leave a little section at the end, so you guys can have some of your questions answered. But we'll start it out with some of the bug fixes in this patch, which are some really big ones. The first one, the asteroid locations now are actually going to be moving. This has been planned for some time, but previously they were all in one spot all the time, right? So you go to the one spot, they were all mapped out. If you go in our Discord channel in SpaceX, they had a list of different asteroids always in the same location. Now that's going to switch it up. It's going to more mimic real life, I guess you could say. So each asteroid location every few days, 5 to 7 days, I think they said, the locations of the different asteroids you can mine are actually going to switch around. So it's more of a hunt, more of space exploration, I guess you could say. You have to fly around, scan the different spots, and find your minerals that way, as opposed to just having all the locations mapped out and fly there, check all of them. It's more of exploration, like I said. So that's a pretty nice fix. It will make things a lot more difficult, so some of you might not like it, but it is, was planned the entire time, and it does make it a little more realistic, I feel. Next thing, they changed the actual scanning of the asteroid. Before, if you did a scan, the location map on that asteroid would stay there permanently. Now they've changed it to actually it will disappear after a amount of time. So you're gonna have to look around a little bit quicker, make a decision quicker, but it's not always gonna stay. Now you can obviously scan again and it'll show back up, but it'll disappear after 30 seconds or a minute. They're still deciding on the amount of time that'll remain up there, but it will disappear. So that's not a bug or a glitch if you're wondering. That is intended. The next thing, you may not have noticed, but the harvest button has been removed. If you're on your purchased or lease plot, there's the harvest button no longer shows up there because there's the auto mining feature on the plots, or your your mining platform that is activated through the My Plots button. So it no longer shows up on those plots. If you go to a free to mine planet, that harvester button is still there because that's how you harvest from the free to mine planets. But it will no longer show up on your personal plots. Another thing, all the mining speeds have been fixed since the last patch. They were slowed down quite considerably. That was a bug, and they've been returned to normal. So you should be getting the correct amount of resources when you're mining your plots in this patch. And also the free to mine planets were put back up to the level that they're supposed to be at. Like I said, they were on free to mine planets, I believe they were halved. The speed that you were collecting resources was about half of what you were supposed to be getting. So now those are all set back to normal, and you should you should, yeah, you should be getting your resources as planned. Thank you for the follow there, Berlium. Next, there's a little, some cosmetic things they fixed up, but those are kind of some of the bugs that the big bugs they focused on and fixed in this patch. But now let's get into the new content, because they've added a lot of new stuff that you haven't seen before and that was not in the game before. So you'll notice now, if you land on your plot, you'll see these tabs here: Research, Factory, and Refinery. Obviously, these relate to the buildings that you build on your plot: Research Center, Factory, Refinery. So once you build these, they enable a whole nother feature of the game, where you go into the Research Center and you can now, this is where you're going to be able to construct mods. They're going to have different type of mods. Right now they just introduced it with 2. You have a shuttle speed increase and the shuttle cargo increase. So you look here, these count down, so you can't see exactly the amount of resources it takes, but it shows how much you need left to construct. So I can't personally build any of these right now, but this first one, the shuttle speed increase, it's a 20% increase in the shuttle speed, and this one is a 20% increase in the shuttle cargo. So these are not cheap, right? They take a lot of resources to do, but 20% increase could help you a lot. Especially, I'm looking at this shuttle cargo one. It would increase it from 1,000 to 1,200. You can carry in your shuttle, so that looks like a really nice upgrade that I'm thinking I'm gonna do when I get the resources. So those, and there will be a lot more added to this. I know they're talking about one that will increase the cargo capacity of your main base. So right now it increases it to, once you build the main base on your plot, it increases to 2.5 million here. They're talking about adding another one that'll increase it even more. I'm not sure, the numbers on that aren't out yet, and obviously the mod isn't out yet either, but that will, just so you know, it's not just these 2, there will be more coming, and I imagine there'll be quite a lot of different things you can upgrade and modify. And these are one-off mods, so right now the shuttle, you only have 1 shuttle, but if there were 2, you'd have to build 1 for each, and that type of thing. So next we'll go into the factory. Once you have your factory built, you will build before your research center, and this is where you build the different alloys and compounds that you will need. The interstellar ship, at least right now, is the first spot that you'll need to use some of these alloys to construct compounds. The interstellar ship needs 40 of this T compound, along with a bunch of other resources, which we can get into later, but it requires 40 of these. So you have to craft these, and you can see the different numbers of how much resources each one will take to craft. So you'll need 40 for the interstellar ship. And then obviously you just click craft here and it starts making one. One takes 6 hours. Now this, you have to click manually. You can only make 1 at a time of each resource. So you can't just queue up 40. You have to do it individually. So every 6 hours, if you want to keep it going, you have to come back here, click craft, and it'll start it up again. Down here, we have 3 other ones. There's carbonite, copadidium, and iridites. And all of these, there's no use for them currently in the game, but I know all of these will be used in the cargo carrier if you are planning on trying to build a cargo carrier, which is going to be a lot of resources. It's going to be very difficult to build that cargo carrier, but that will require all of these different components. I'm not sure of the quantities yet. That actually hasn't been released either, but I'm sure we will see that quite soon coming up here. Next thing, refinery, which you probably already have built. If you have any of them built, you already have your refinery. This is where you construct the fuel that you will need to power your different, stations and stuff. So this fuel is for the power plant fuel, and you'll need to craft this. And each one of these power plant fuels will power one plot, and one plot for 60 days. So you have, right now, you don't have to worry about constructing these currently because the power plants are all still free, as it's pre-alpha still. So everything is still running on free power essentially. But eventually, once alpha kicks over, you're going to have to start crafting these fuels to power your mining platforms and things like that on your plots. Now, like I said, this will power one plot for 60 days. And so if you have more than one plot, if you have a bunch of purchase plots, you're going to have to construct one for each plot. You may need 4, it depends on obviously how many number of plots you have, but you will have to construct multiple of these. And these are carryable in your ship, so you can transport them to other plots. You don't have to build a refinery on each plot. You can, build one refinery, have it power all of your plots. And you can see the time requirements here. And then coming down here is your ship fuel. This is quite a hefty resource sink, or it costs a lot to do. And this is the fuel that's going to power your interstellar ship. So once you build your interstellar ship, this is what's going to fuel it. The shuttle, right now, the fuel is free. And I believe that the shuttle is going to remain free fuel the whole time while you're in the home system. But once you start getting into Sector 1 and using your interstellar ship, you're going to have to craft the ship fuel and plan ahead, because you'll want to bring extra ship fuel with you when you go to Sector 1, which will allow you to, explore around, discover and claim planets, which is kind of the main focus of the game at this point, or will be once you head into Sector 1. And so you want to take at least a few of these. It's not quite decided yet if this is going to be a time thing, like the power plant powers a ship for 60 days, or if it's going to be a distance. They're still toying with those ideas and kind of playing with them, seeing what works best. But that will be released, I imagine, as soon as the interstellar ship just becomes craftable and people start getting them and going into Sector 1. They'll have that all planned out. And we'll talk about that later in the upcoming patches when that is actually implemented. So those are kind of the 3 big additions to this patch, those 3 different tabs that essentially make your buildings usable. You now have your research factory and refinery. They all do have different functions and create different things in them, like I went over. And those are the main functions of those buildings. So that is kind of the overview of those. And let's talk about some of the, let's see. Let's see, what else should we cover? All right, let's talk about some of the stuff coming up to look forward to. So in the next coming patches, the quests are going to be put back into the game. There was one they kind of were working on, and it wasn't quite ready, so they disabled that. And the quests now are going to be focused more on finding different items or finding keys that will unlock the portal or whatever way they intend on you to get into Sector 1. So you'll do all these different quests, collect keys, collect different components or whatever, and use them to open the portal into Sector 1 once you have your interstellar ship. So that's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to that, seeing how that all comes together. And that is going to be a little more active. Right now, the game is pretty much an AFK type style where you fly to your asteroid or fly to the planet, start mining, and leave it. You can leave your computer, go do something else, which is great, but it doesn't leave for a lot of active play. So these quests are going to give you something to do in the game where it's a little more active. You can spend, an hour or two playing it and kind of get into it and fly around and discover things. So that'll be cool. I'm excited to have that type of stuff to do. So there's a little more to stream and a little more exciting content to show. So yeah, really looking forward to those. And let's see what else is coming up. The Launchpad is going to become fully functional. You can build it currently, as you can see. Mine is currently constructing. This is the last building that you will build on your plot. And this is where you're going to build the ships. The interstellar ship first, and then eventually the cargo carrier as well. And we can talk about those in a little more detail. But that, after building this, is where you're going to construct those ships, and those will be implemented in the coming patches that you're actually going to be able to start building those ships. I don't believe anyone has one completed yet or is to the point where they can construct their ship yet. The resource cost is pretty high, but that will be coming up soon. Like I said, in the research center, there's going to be more modules you construct. They'll be adding more of those. The one I'm looking forward to is the main base upgrade that increases the cargo capacity on the main base. So that will be nice. And the different boosters, like I said, I'm sure that the interstellar ship will have some type of boosters as well, and probably even the cargo carrier. So that is another thing to look forward to. Just another kind of a reminder on this. Power plant fuels, the ship fuels, those are all carryable in your inventory, so you can transport them to different plots. On your interstellar ship, you're going to be able to take multiple packs of ship fuel so you don't run out when you're in Sector 1. I know you want to pre-plan once we find out what time, if it's a time or if it's a distance, you'll want some extra fuel ships or ship fuels, because if you run out when you're in Sector 1, you run out of fuel. You're kind of just drifting in space at that point. I'm not entirely sure what they're planning for people once that happens, if there's going to be a way to teleport back, if you're going to have to start over building another ship, or if they're going to have towing services, or how that's going to exactly work. But I know you're not going to want to run out of fuel once you're in Sector 1. So you want to plan on building at least a few of these so you can fly into Sector 1, find and claim a planet, and start building your base up again on your planet that you claimed. And at least until the refinery, you can get a refinery constructed in Sector 1 and then start producing the fuel there. So that's going to be an important thing to kind of plan ahead on. So we'll see how that all plays out when they put in the, like I said, the time or distance, how much of that you'll have to carry and make beforehand. Okay, let me see what else we got here. Oh, a big note and word of warning. The warp fees will be introduced in the next patch, scheduled for next Wednesday. So currently all the warping, let's take off here. Any place you warp to, asteroid belt, currently it says it costs 200 plats, but it's pre-alpha and it's free right now. So it doesn't take any plats to warp. However, next patch, they said this will be changing. So they are going to have a warp fee that will go into effect next patch. They haven't confirmed the amounts that it's going to be to warp. They said they estimate it's going to be between 85 and 125 plats to warp anywhere. They're toying with the idea of making it free to warp between your plot, your different plots, right? So you can warp and land on your plots for free. But then if you're warping back to an asteroid field or warping back to the main hub, those are going to cost plats. So not 100% positive the way they're going to go on that. Once the next patch comes out, we'll have way more details and how it actually works. So we could talk about that. Let's see. So upcoming, we're gonna have the NFTs are coming, right? So your plots, any of the purchase plots are going to be NFTs. That's something that's upcoming, going to be implemented relatively soon. And there's going to be some other NFTs, collectible type NFTs, different aliens or different things that you can collect and have in the game. So that's kind of some things to look forward to. Also, the plats they're working on currently, plats are the in-game currency for SpaceX, and they will always be. However, in the next coming weeks or month or two, those are going to be a token. So those will be going on exchanges and tradable on exchanges. I'm not sure which exchanges they're going to use yet, if it's going to be Binance or whatever type of exchange they decide on, but it will be tradable on exchanges eventually. So those plats are going to actually have real value. This is a crypto game after all. The point is free to play, play to earn. So that's kind of how you're going to be making real money or crypto in this game, is those plats, which you get from mining rocks and on the free to mine planets, and then selling resources that you have into the market and things like that. And then once we get into Sector 1, plats will still hold value, but you're going to be able to claim, like I said, discover and claim your own planets, and those will be NFTs as well. And that's where they plan on having kind of the big assets and the things that are going to be worth, a fair amount of money, and they expect people to trade them back and forth. You'll each planet will have a certain amount of resources. Some have plots on them, so you want to be able to find some, collect some, and maybe trade them back and forth to get the resources that you want and need to construct your bases on. So really excited to get into Sector 1. I know they're working hard on it right now, and they're getting really close to having it opened up and allowing people to actually travel there once you get your whole base constructed and your interstellar ship. Don't forget your fuels. You're going to need fuels to fly there so you don't run out of fuel. So really looking forward to that. So let's kind of look here to show you some of the changes in the asteroid field, like I was saying. So we'll fly out here to an asteroid field and let's do a scan. Oh, another thing coming up. This scan time is going to be reduced. Right now it's set, I believe, at 30 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that. But with the way they changed the display where it disappears after 30 seconds, they're going to reduce this time that it takes to scan as well. I'm not sure the time, they haven't really released how long it's going to take, but it's going to be significantly less time, which will be nice. Because now that you have to scan more than once to kind of see where you are and see all the different things that you need, it just takes a little too long. So let's see if we can find anything here. Let's cut the engines. We'll do a scan. All right, so there's one. All right, you can see has iridium, aluminum. Where'd it go? Uranium, copper, and hydrogen. Now that isn't really what I'm looking for, but let's fly to it and then do another scan, because if you find one, generally if you go to it and scan again, there'll be another one in the nearby vicinity, at least currently, until asteroids, start moving and things. So let's do another scan, see if we can see anything else, something I'm looking for, maybe some radium or thorium. I have to look around. There's one. go down here. This one's just some tantalum, nickel, argon, lithium, aluminum. Okay, guys, these are the, the periodic table. These are the actual abbreviations for these elements. They're all real elements. If you don't know the periodic table, pull up Google, and that will help you out a lot. I don't really want any of these right now. It's not what I'm looking for. Let's do another scan here. That's the one we found before. There's one. It's still not quite what I'm looking for. We got copper, boron, beryllium, iron, and tantalum. Punjab with the lemon. Thanks, Punjab. Yeah, so nothing really here that I am looking for. So let's warp over to belt 2. Now, like I said, it's free right now. Free right now to warp, so don't worry about that. But in the upcoming patch, you will have to pay for those warp fees. So enjoy it now while it lasts. Alright, so let's see what we can find in Asteroid Belt 2. Hey, Punjab, I'm really enjoying SpaceX. Building a lot. I've almost fully constructed my base. My last building is being created. The last building takes the longest. It takes 2 weeks to construct the interstellar launch pad. So that's currently building for me. But yeah, I'm liking a lot. Like I said, right now it's very AFK minor. Well, there's not too bad. Got some radon, neon, tungsten. So let's go over here. Maybe we'll stop there. I'll kind of show off here. So we'll fly up to it. And currently it's displays for 30 seconds. Before, like I said, it would remain there forever. But now I'll just sit here for a little bit and you'll see it disappears. So that is intended. It's not glitching out or anything. If you played before and you see it disappear, that was put in with this patch and was always planned to be that way. So right there, just disappeared. So if you want it to show up again, I'll have to scan again. And like I said, this will be reduced since those disappear now. The time on this scanner is going to be reduced. Alright, so that's not too bad, but that's not really what There's some radon. Is there anything else around here? Alright, let's go down to this one. I'm really looking for like radium and thorium is kind of what I'm hunting for right now. So we'll get over to this one. Scan again, see if there's another asteroid around that has something more that I'm looking for. Iridium, copper, so there's some radium. It's not too bad. Iridium, copper, zinc, radium, some magnesium. Still not perfectly what I'm looking for, but not too bad. Let's do another scan, see if there's another asteroid around here. See if there's one. Ultimately, I'd love to find one with thorium and radium. So it's not too bad. But I think we can find better. So let's go to asteroid 3, asteroid belt 3. And just so you guys know, there are 9 asteroids in every belt that can be mined from. So like I said, their locations will be moving around, but there are always 9, at least currently, there are always 9 in the asteroid belts, in each asteroid belt in the home system. Usually, it seems right now at least, that there's a bunch of 3 and a bunch of 4 in a different location. So if you find one, fly up to it and scan, and you'll probably see another one in the nearby vicinity. There's one. Neon. Let's fly over there. Radon, titanium, cerium. All right, do another scan. Guys, there are still purchasable plots. If you like land sales in crypto games, they are currently 25% off. At least there was 40 available on every planet in the home system. I'm not sure how many are left now, but those are the ones that are released for the pre-alpha, and they are 25% off of the planned price for the alpha sale, which alpha will be coming out, not positive, but a month or 2 here. So you have a month or 2 time to snag those up for a 25% discount. If you like land sales and crypto games, I suggest you take a look at those. In some of my previous videos, I show you how to purchase and go through the whole process of purchasing one of those. You can purchase more than one if you so desire. Get different planets. Each planet has a different type of resource, or different types of resources, I should say, multiple. But you need a ton of different resources to construct your base. So if you have the extra money and you like investing in crypto games, it's not a bad idea to get multiple plots so you can kind of plan out which resources you're getting from your plots and which will allow you to construct the base and the ship the fastest. All right, let's find a good one here. Not really what I'm looking for. Some boron, titanium, iron, sulfur, plutonium. Still haven't found that perfect asteroid with all the resources I want, so we're gonna keep flying around, see what I can locate. Seeing anything around this one? Let's fly out this way. And there are, if you are playing already, or if you're looking at playing, join the Discord. There's a strategy channel where some of the players will post their asteroid reports. So if you're looking for a specific type of asteroid with certain resources, sometimes they'll list them out for you and how to locate them. So definitely check out the Discord. There's a lot of great information there. It's kind of the main base right now for the game. So anything you're wondering, if you have any other questions, come in there. Plenty of people that'll help answer all of your questions and help you out and help you progress in the game. Like I said, this is still pre-alpha, so it's still really early to get on the game, and a great opportunity if you like crypto and crypto games. Great opportunity to get in really early on a game that I think could be really big. Obviously, there's still a lot to go. There's still a lot to be introduced, but they have a ton of stuff planned for the game. A ton of different sectors where you're going to be able to do more and more. Right now, this is the home system, kind of the introduction of the game, the tutorial on most of you will kind of how you collect resources, how you construct your bases, and get you familiar with the kind of the mechanics of the just building the base. And once you fly out to Sector 1, it's going to be focused. You'll still be doing that, but you're going to be, it's going to be more focused on trying to discover planets, right? So that'll be the main focus in Sector 1 is discovering planets and claiming them. If no one has discovered them before, you'll be able to claim them for a small fee, and then that planet will be yours in the game and as an NFT as well. You can do whatever you wish. You're going to need one at least to build a base on, so you can build up your base in Sector 1 and get everything rolling from there. And then you can fly out and discover more and more planets. And then, you can, like I said, they'll be your NFTs, so you can trade them, you can sell them. And I would say they're kind of planning them to be kind of like trading cards, right? So you want to try to collect enough planets to have all the resources that you need to build your base in Sector 1. There will be a marketplace in Sector 1 as well. They're toying with the idea of making the player-to-player free market system type of marketplace in Sector 1. Originally, it was planned to be pushed to 2, but they're looking at the idea of making the Sector 1 marketplace the start of the player-to-player marketplace, or the free marketplace, which I think would be really cool. And it'd allow you to kind of make more, another way to make more money and earn in this game. So we'll see what happens with that. It's not solidified yet, but they're toying with that idea. Instead of pushing it to Sector 1, it may come into, or pushing it to Sector 2, it may come into Sector 1 play as well. So we'll see what happens with that. Question. Does the interstellar ship replace the basic shuttle, or is the interstellar ship only traveling between sectors? Okay, so basically, once you build your interstellar ship, that interstellar ship will take you to Sector 1, and that will be your shuttle of Sector 1, right? So everything that you're doing in your shuttle and home system, that is what you'll do in your interstellar ship in Sector 1. Your shuttle will always remain in the home system. So you're not going to take your shuttle in mine in Sector 1, but it will be in your home system. So yeah, basically, like I said, the interstellar ship will take you to Sector 1 and act as your shuttle, per se, in Sector 1. So no, you will not take your shuttle to Sector 1. It's not stored in your interstellar ship. basically your interstellar ship will become your shuttle of Sector 1. The cargo carrier, or the cargo ship, it is going to be much more difficult to construct. It's going to take a lot of resources. They're not planning on a lot of people constructing that or being able to construct that. It is planned that only you'll be able to pretty much only be able to craft it if you have purchased plots. And if you don't have a purchase plot, if you just have a lease plot, you're playing free to play, there's not a real need for the cargo carrier anyway, because that lease is for 6 months, and once that expires, you won't have a home base in the home sector anymore. So your purpose, if you're playing free to play on your lease plot, is to construct that main base on your lease plot, construct the interstellar ship, fly to Sector 1, and start building your base in Sector 1. So where the cargo carrier ship will be very useful is for people that do own plots and bought some of the land plots from the home system, and then you can start transferring some of those resources you collected on your purchase plots to the Sector 1. Now, if you're free to play, or even right now, if you're an pre-alpha player, it may be possible you may have enough time to construct that carrier ship also, because you have the extended period. You have that 6 months where you probably will have your interstellar ship constructed, and you may have enough time to build that cargo carrier. But for people that aren't playing in this pre-alpha and haven't had the extra time, it's not planned that they're going to have the time to construct the whole base, the interstellar ship, and the cargo carrier in that 6-month period. So pre-alpha players, you have a pretty big advantage in that you might actually be able to get that constructed. Like I said, it's going to be very difficult, take a lot of time, but you might be able to do it before your lease expires. But that, like I said, that is mainly focused for people that purchase plots to be able to move some of the resources that they have on their purchase plot to Sector 1. Is it already written somewhere? What upgrades will offered in the research center? How much will it be? Yeah, so right now, I can go over it again for you. Let me see. Yeah, there's nothing here that I want either. All right, so I'm going to go back to my plot and show you again. So these, like I said, these are in your research center, the modules or upgrades that are currently in the game. There's the shuttle speed, which increases your shuttle by 20%. And there's a shuttle cargo, which will increase the cargo by 20%. And these are two things you can construct right now. And will be, not sure if they're fully functional right now, but you can construct them, and once they put the functionality, it will increase the cargo speed or the shuttle speed or the shuttle cargo. They are going to be adding more of these to the game. Right now they've just started with these two, but I know they're planning on putting in a cargo increase for the main base, and I assume they'll be adding similar type ship upgrades for the interstellar ship as well. And so all of them are different prices. You can see here they're somewhat expensive. These are the prices of, or the costs that you'll need of resources. That's how much you need, how much is left. So you can't actually see the total cost here because I have a bunch of these already. But obviously you can see some of them I still need. 3100 boron, a little over 6,000 calcium, and so on. So another question, can I use the cargo ship to move resources from Sector 1 to 2 back and forth? Yes, at least right now it's planned that the cargo ship will be able to move from the home sector to 1 and 2. That's not solidified yet. They're still working out the details. If they make Sector 1 the free market center, or the free market marketplace, they may not have the cargo carrier go to Sector 2. I'm not completely sure on that, but right now it's talked about having, the cargo ship will be the only ship that can fly between the sectors. Definitely the home in Sector 1, possibly Sector 1 and 2 as well. Another question, can I lease the ship to help someone grab their resources to help them out for a fee? I am not certain on that. I don't know if they're going to have that implemented. They're toying with the idea of making the cargo ship an NFT as well, but I don't believe there's a concrete answer on that yet. So as far as renting it out, at least at this time, I don't think so, but maybe in the future that's something that they'll add as a capability. I don't know for sure though. I'll just quickly go over. So those were the mods in your research center. In the factory, there's the different compounds and alloys you'll need to construct to make these ships. Like I said, the interstellar ship requires 40 of this T compound, as well as a bunch of other resources. And then I don't know the recipe of the cargo carrier yet, but I do know it will take some amounts of all 4 of these different alloys and compounds. And right now there are just these 4 in the game. I'm sure there will be more added as we get it further and further into the game. And then your refinery, like I said, this is where you make your fuels, and these are going to be very important once the alpha hits and you're going to have to start producing your own fuels. Power plant fuel will power one plot's power plant for 60 days. And then those are carryable. You can move them to different plots if you've purchased multiple plots. Or you can take additional to Sector 1 with you if you're transporting, if you have your interstellar ship, probably make a couple of these and a few of these ship fuels to take with you to Sector 1, so you have enough time and fuel to discover your planet and start collecting resources to build your base up until you can build your refinery